Alright guys, let's take out our history books. We don't have a book report due. Guys, stop talking. Okay, let's take out our history books. Okay, we do have a quiz tomorrow, so make sure you guys are studying. Okay. Yesterday you finished chapter 5 of India, so let's review for a quiz. Okay. No more talking.
What page?
Okay. Page number. Give me 1 second. Page number. You guys started talking about on page 71, right? The time of change. Okay, make sure that you guys have highlighted. Go to page 71. Page 71. Okay, do you guys have dynasty highlighted? Okay, everyone should go to page 71. What is that? No, thank you. Okay. You should have a dynasty highlighted, which is a line of rulers that succeed each other in the same family. Okay, page 72. Do you guys have the Taj Mahal highlighted? Are we unprepared for class? Okay, page 72. Do you guys have the Taj Mahal highlighted?
Page what?
Page 72. Shh, you should not be talking. Okay. Vasco da Gama.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be highlighted. He was the first European to reach India. Thank you, Mrs. Rule. First European to reach India by sailing around Africa. Okay. Page 73, you should have Gandhi highlighted. He was one of the key leaders for the struggle for Indian independence. He was Mahatma Gandhi. It's on the top of page 73. Okay, you should highlight William Carey. He was the father of modern missions. Okay. Page 74, you should have highlighted Nehru. He was the first Prime Minister of India. Do you guys have that on page 74? Okay. East and West Pakistan.
Yeah.
Highlight that. East Pakistan later became what class? What does it say? Bangladesh.
You need to highlight Bangladesh.
Josiah, were you here yesterday? Okay, why aren't these highlighted? Huh? Did Mrs. Rule tell you to highlight them?
Yes.
Okay, I see other people's highlighted.
Some stuff.
Shh. Okay, West Pakistan became known as Pakistan. Okay, make sure you highlight those. Okay, highlight the Ganges, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra rivers. Make the northern plains good for farming. That is on page 74. The Ganges, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra rivers. Okay, just like we saw the Indus River, it kind of bled onto, not bled onto, it kind of turned into India. Okay, the Indus River Valley. Okay, so the Ganges, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra, those were the rivers that caused the northern plains of India to be good for farming. Okay. Highlight monsoons. You guys have that highlighted? Those are seasonal winds. Okay, that's at the top of page 74. Monsoons are seasonal winds that blow in from the sea. Huh? Nice. Okay. Do you guys have the capital of India highlighted?
Yeah.
What is the capital of India, class?
New Delhi.
New Delhi. It is the largest, and then the largest city is, class, is,
Mount Everest.
no, the largest city, Mumbai or Bombay. Okay. Yes. Shh. Adam. The largest city is Mumbai or Bombay. The capital is New Delhi. Okay? Then look on page 75. You should highlight the Himalayas. We know those to be the world's highest mountain. Okay, you do need to highlight Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain on earth. And then it's located in the kingdom of, what does it say? Nepal. Good. Okay, you should have those highlighted. Okay, then on the last page, on page 76, you need to highlight Amy Carmichael. She was a rescuer of Indian children. Okay, we'll go through it right now. Okay, Amy Carmichael was a rescuer of Indian children. Okay. How many of you guys ever heard of the story of Amy Carmichael? Okay, well for those of you who haven't, we'll go through that right now. Okay, but yes, Adam, what's your question? You said my name.
When?
Like a minute, like 30 seconds ago.
Like what?
No, he says, Miss Coral, and then I asked a question, and then he got distracted.
Oh yeah. You know what color pink and yellow makes?
Okay, is that related to the lesson?
No.
No. Okay, show me later. All right, let's read about Amy Carmichael. Everyone should turn to page 76. Yes, Tony. No. Okay, let's read about her, where she is from. Okay? Let's read about it. Tony, why don't you read about Amy Carmichael? Read that first paragraph.
Sure. There were big tears in 3-year-old Amy's eyes. She had prayed for blue eyes, and God did not seem to answer. Her eyes were still brown. Amy Carmichael was to learn that all of God's answers, either yes or no, are for our best and for His glory.
Okay, so Amy Carmichael, you guys notice she was born in Northern Ireland in 1867. Okay, a lot of people from Ireland have blue eyes, and Amy, she really, really prayed to have blue eyes, but she was born with brown eyes. Okay, she was born with brown eyes, and she really, really, really wanted blue eyes, so she prayed and prayed and prayed, but God didn't change the color of her eyes. Okay, and later on, we'll read about, yes?
Where does she live?
In Northern Ireland. Okay, we'll read about, we'll show you later, okay? Make sure that you raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, so her family went to church regularly. They learned about Christ as a young child. Okay, Tony, you can sit down. But she accepted Jesus Christ as her Savior at a young age. Okay, but she really, really wanted blue eyes, but she had brown eyes. And this was an important factor later on in her life. Okay, Amy Carmichael had a deep concern for others, and she strove to show Christ's love by her actions. She was always assisting the elderly, the poor, or the sick, even though sometimes she was laughed at for her efforts. So remember how we talked about a few weeks ago how sometimes when we do the right thing, sometimes people will laugh at us. Okay? Sometimes that's what happens when we're doing the right thing, because sometimes the right thing isn't always popular. Okay? And this is what happened to Amy. She was doing the right thing and helping people, but sometimes people laughed at her. Okay? Later on, the Lord was calling her to become a missionary. Who knows what a missionary is? Josiah?
A person that goes to another country or a place to preach about.
Good. Okay, so it's a person that goes to another country to tell other people about Jesus. So, God began to call Amy Carmichael to the mission field of India. Okay, so India. Okay, so let's read about her endeavors or her mission work in India. Okay, Amy saw the big heathen temples and the people worshiping in fear. She worked at learning the language, and she also taught women and children. And then she basically went to India. Yes, Savannah? Well, your book should be open, and yes, you may. Okay. Well, you should be turned to the page that we're on. We're not even on that page. We're on page 76 and 77. Yes, Adam?
Was William Carey like the first missionary?
No, there were other missionaries. Actually, the one in the Bible was Paul. He was one of the most famous first missionaries. But William Carey, he was also a missionary to India. Okay? Or the father of modern missions. Okay? He was also a missionary to India. All right? So, Amy Carmichael, she began working in India. Remember how we kind of talked about the caste system and how a lot of people were outcasts? She would reach those people with the gospel. She would tell them that Jesus loves them, even though their whole society hated them, and they would begin to get saved. And one thing that God opened the door for her was to work with the children. And in India, they had a lot of children who were slaves in the temples of the gods in India. And so one day, she saw that the big heathen temples, and she saw that the people were worshiping in fear, and she wanted to see what strange religion could have such a strong power over the people. Okay, look at this. Because foreigners were not allowed in the temples, she used a disguise. Okay, what did she do? It says, with coffee, she stained her skin, and then she dressed in Indian clothing. Okay, now she was thankful to have brown eyes because now she could fit in a lot better with her disguise. Okay, Savannah, don't do that. Okay, so she was thankful now that God had answered no to her childhood request of asking for blue eyes, because now she was able to walk into the temple unrecognized. And when she went into the temple, it was really sad what she saw. It was dark and dirty. There was no sunlight, only torches to make frightening light on the cold, damp walls. Amy saw some young boys and wondered what they were doing. Okay, on another occasion, Amy saw a fancy carriage carrying a huge idol, and around it, little girls would be around the idol in fear. So Amy discovered that these girls were to be slaves in the temple. So she went into the temple hoping to see something that she was wondering what was going on in the temples, and she came to find out that little kids were slaves in the temple. So she used that disguise to rescue those children out of the temple. She discovered her heart was to save the temple children who were treated cruelly, and the first temple children she helped were some who had escaped. Later, Amy would buy children from parents who were going to sell them. She bought the children from the parents who were going to sell them to the temple. She was rescuing all these children, and she had an orphanage, or a little establishment for all these children, okay? And that was Amy Carmichael, okay? So that's the end of chapter number 5. Let's go ahead and review for our quiz tomorrow.
You have a quiz?
We do have a quiz tomorrow, okay? We finished chapter 5 today. Okay. You need to know who the enlightened one is. Who remembers who the enlightened one is? This is what Mrs. Rule went over with you yesterday. Sorry? Nope. Yes, it was Buddha. Okay. Buddha means the enlightened one. All right. Who led India's struggle for independence? Okay, you guys can look. It's on page number 73. Okay, page 73. Savannah? Gandhi. Okay, Gandhi led India's struggle for independence. Okay, who was the first European to sail around Africa to reach India? Adam? Vasco da Gama. That's on page 72. Okay, Vasco da Gama. Okay, who was the father of modern missions? Ariel? William Carey. He was the father of modern missions. Okay, who was the rescuer of Indian children? We just went over her. What was her name? Emmeline? Amy. Amy Carmichael. Okay, Amy Carmichael was the rescuer of Indian children. Who was the first to bring cotton cloth to Europe? Cotton cloth. That's on page 71. That was from our lesson on Friday. Shane? Not Calicut. That's a city. Okay? He invaded India in the 300 BC. Then he took with him some of India's cotton goods. Libby? Alexander the Great. Okay, Alexander the Great was the first to bring cotton cloth to Europe. Who was the rescuer of Indian children? Class? Amy Carmichael. Who was the father of modern missions? Class? William Carey. Who was the first European to sail around Africa to reach India? Class? Vasco da Gama. Who led India's struggle for independence? Gandhi. What name means the enlightened one? Buddha. Okay, Buddha was the one who they worshipped. His name means enlightened one. Okay. What was the belief that when someone or something dies, its soul is reborn into some other newborn man or animal? What is that one called? Sydney? Reincarnation. Okay, you need to know reincarnation. Okay. What are seasonal winds that bring rain, Adam? Monsoon. Okay. Where is Mount Everest located? Tony? What country?
No, it's located in Africa.
Not Africa. Nepal. Okay. That is on page 75. You need to know where Mount Everest is located. Okay. Adam, where is Mount Everest located? Okay, yes, but what country? We just said it. Okay, make sure you're paying attention. Class, who can help him out? Nepal. Okay, Nepal. Okay. India's population is the first, second, or third largest. Class, who knows? Their population. That's on page number. Good. Okay, that is on page 65. Okay. India's population is the world's second largest. Okay. That is for your quiz tomorrow. Okay, let's go over it one more time. Who was the enlightened one? Buddha. Who led India's struggle for independence? Gandhi. Who was the first European to sail around Africa? Vasco da Gama. Who was the father of modern missions? William Carey. Who was the rescuer of Indian children? Amy Carmichael. Who was the first to bring cotton cloth to Europe? Alexander the Great. Emmeline, make sure you're not doing that, okay? Okay? What was the belief that when someone or something dies, its soul is reborn into some other newborn animal or man? What is that called, class? Reincarnation. What are seasonal winds that bring rain? Monsoons. Okay, monsoons. Where is Mount Everest located? Nepal. Okay, the country where Mount Everest is located is Nepal. Okay, Peyton? Throw that away. If it's broken, throw it away. Don't mess with it. Okay? And then what is India's population? It is the first, second, or third largest. It is the second largest. The world's second largest is India's population. Okay? All right. Go ahead and put your history books away. Go ahead and take out your Adventures in Greatness. You do have a quiz today in Adventures in Greatness. So that is the rest of our lesson today, Gianni. For those of you who are distant learning, just Adventures in Greatness, quiz number 6. Okay. This quiz in this book over pages give me 1 second. Quiz number 6 over man's beginning. Okay, on page number 11 and 12.